All right, thank you one more time. Still the program this morning on ITV. Now, the Edo State governorship elections are close, less than 80 days from now. About 73, 75 days are left. And of course, the issues are ranging. So many interest groups, organizations are also expressing their interest in the election. And one thing that stands out is that no matter the amount of interest groups and all political gimmicks and all that, at the end of the day, the Edo electorate will vote, and of course, they will speak their minds. Now, recently in Nigeria, we have discovered the way interfaith-based organizations are beginning to make incursions into elections and politics. Unlike those days that you hear people say that the church, doesn't involve in politics. I mean, because of the issues in politics and all that. But now we've seen organizations, inter-based organizations, able come out to say that, hey, this is the person that they are supporting and all that. Well, this morning, we're so privileged to have Edward Aswilime, who is the coordinator of CVBN. CVBN stands for Christian Volunteers for Better Nigeria. He's the coordinator for the Edo State 2024 election. And we saw that also in the presidential election, that was last year now, whereby they also made their interest known. Mr. Edward, a very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
Okay, nice to have you on the program.
Quite a pleasure.
Now, Edo State election is going to be very, very interesting, there's no doubt about that. Now, it cuts across almost all the states of the country. Even Nigerians, Edoites in diaspora are also having interest. Now, inter-based organizations, of which you coordinate one of them in the country, has been sharing their perspective on the election. Now, what are your perspectives concerning this election as a member of the interfaith-based organization? Take, for example, the Christian Volunteers for Better Nigeria.
We are citizens of the country from those states, Christians, non-Christians, traditionalists, faith perspective is that we must integrate and that we must participate effectively in the process of elections, pray to see that election goes peacefully, everyone participate, give them the right of that as a citizen to vote and to be voted for, and to see that we don't only vote, we protect our vote, and that the right persons make the winners so that we can experience the dividends of democracy. All right? Yes, we might be doing this differently. We might belong to different organizations or denominations. But we, at a time like this, you see that we come together and we try to we advise our people not to be nonchalant about the things, the matters of politics. Many do not vote, many things don't be concerned at all. So therefore, we are mobilizing our people seriously to become aware of the importance of this process. Because if we don't get it right this time, I do not know what it will become of Edo. We can all see what is on ground. And I think that we need to hold our leaders accountable for governance. Because if we do not do that during this period, while we have another opportunity to make our opinion known through the bylaws, then I don't know what else we can do. So the interfaith must be very serious, understand that, look, without good governance, there might not even be a place of worship. And right now, that is exactly what we are beginning to experience. The robbery are still in the church. Is even more than what you find on the street, even today. I can tell you that. Because there's so much hunger in the land. So people are beginning to disobey even the things that they used to believe in. So that's exactly our perspective. That it is like preaching at the altar. That we must participate, we must do that is right, and we must hold our leaders accountable.
Okay. Now, if you go through the manifestos of most of the political parties feeding candidates for this election, now the manifestos are almost reproductive, replicative, if you like. Now, you find out one item in one political party manifesto, then also you find it replicative in another. If you go through the political slogans of these parties, it's almost also very replicative. Now, for your own organization and perhaps other interfaith-based organizations now, what are the factors that you people are looking for, that Edo people should look for, so that at the end of the day, they won't be misled this time? Just as you said that this election, we must get it right.
I think I was on this program one time, and I specifically spelled out the things we look out for as an organization, Christian Volunteers for Better Nigeria. The truth remains that it is not about political party. They might all have the same manifesto. I say to you, the parties' manifestos are beautiful, but it has to do with the driver. Who is the candidate? Does he have the fear of God? Does he love the people? Does he love the state? Does he have the capacity to deliver? Does he have the required educational requisite? Has he been able to do anything before? Has he led 1,000 people that he wants to lead millions of people? What organization have he worked? What business have he raised? What is his capacity to manage crisis? Because when so many people come together, there's bound to be conflicts. What is his temperament towards such matters? So therefore, we look at all of these things, then we pick on a candidate to say, we have seen that this candidate, XYZ, has these qualifications. So it's not just about the manifestos. They all have beautiful manifestos, but the issue is who can deliver on these manifestos? And how do we know who can deliver? We will look at the antecedents, just as I have mentioned. Okay? If we see a good believer, we know. By their fruit, we shall know them. Is he compassionate? So if he's compassionate, he's not going to start now when he becomes a governor. We would have seen that in his life. He would have been touching people around him as far as he can. Okay? So these are exactly the things we look at. You just don't wake up overnight and say, I want to become a governor. We want to see your track record. But it's not happening to do with, oh, I'm a professor. No. It has to do with delivery. What has he been able to do? Okay, and therefore we can hand over the state to him, because we believe that he believes in the state, he believes in the people, he has compassion, and he has the capability to get the state fixed. Okay, because you know that governance is about securing the life of the people, properties, giving them good life, okay, good education. All of this, we must have seen in the antecedent that you are a person with capacity, you're a person with a good heart, you're a person with a strong will to get all of this done. Those are the criteria we look at, and we're able to pick on a person. Because if you want to go by the party, I tell you, you might miss it sometimes. You might miss it.
Now, Governor Gordon Obaseki is going to be rounding up in November, and a new governor is going to come in. Now, I remember, proud to that election. His first tenure, his second tenure, we heard all this, that people also said that we need somebody that is very outspoken. I'm sure they were referring to Governor Gordon Obaseki, that maybe, he was not outspoken enough to some people. And some said they need somebody that is well schooled. And that's also amounted to some, reactions and all that. But whether we like it or not, Governor Gordon Obaseki has successfully done good 8 years. And to most Edolites, he has done well. Now, this election now is still coming up again. Whereas it was in Nigeria, one of the states in the East, we had a business mogul, somebody that has done well in business. I don't want to mention name. And he was elected as a governor of the state. I mean, that governor did not do impressively well at all. Now, for the Edo people, it's a big challenge. Is it just a matter of saying that you've been a big-time businessman, or you've done this or that? I think we should take it above that.
Yes. That is why I made mention of number one. It must be somebody who will see that fear God.
All right. So we just, stay again back there. Yeah. Talking about the interfaith-based organization, in case if you just joined us, the program is this morning on ITV. Okay.
Didi,
All right. So we stay. Just go on, Mr. Edward. We're back to you now.
okay. I was saying, that's why we started by saying, as faith-based organization, as you call it, the number one for us is, does the man fear God? If a man fear God, he loves God. If he loves God, he will love humanity. If you look at the scripture, it says, there comes a man in Luke 18. He doesn't fear God. He have no love for God. He have no love for man. So therefore, if this heart is where everything we do come from. A compassionate person with capacity will deliver. So therefore, we must see that, look, he has a fear of God. And I don't want to go into the details. How do we discover the man who fear God? I have said already, by their fruit you shall know them. It is not about having all the certificates in the world. It is not about being this, being that. But you must have, there is constitutional requirement, education that you must have to be able to contest for an election at the level of a governor.
Now, when you say
That's
fear,
clear.
yeah, when you say fear God now, it's perhaps another challenge because so
That's
fear
exactly what I
God
said.
is
The
relative.
summary I will give to that is
It's
that
relative and it's also
by their
personal.
fruit,
Yeah.
if by their fruit you shall know them. I am a Christian. The only way you know somebody who fear God, by the fruit he bears. And that's why we talk about the antecedents. If you have 1 naira, you have not fed a person before. If you have 1 million, you will not feed 10,000. So therefore, how do we know a man that fear God? By his antecedent, by his fruits. This man has a business that he has been able to develop and is growing up. Has it touched the life of anybody around him, in the community, in the local government, in the state? Have we seen him passionate about touching the life of the people? Have we seen him building infrastructure with the little income he has, either from his private business or from the offices where he has been opportune to serve? With this, we can be able to see. That's why that he goes to church is not just only a church goer, he's a man that fears God, because we can see the fruit of love. And what do God call, what do we call God? What does it call true religion? Say true religion is taking care of the orphan and the widow and abstaining from the corruption of this world. Do you understand that? So therefore, we are able to see, and we know, if you see a good man, you know by what he does. If you see a bad man, you also know by the wickedness that is a meeting. Okay? So therefore, as faith-based organization, these are the things we are keen, we can be able to know the level of somebody's commitment by what he does. That's it. That's the basis. And I said about capacity, about education. It's not that you have all the certificates in the world that really amount to nothing. But however, you must meet the constitutional requirement. A governor should be able to read and write. A governor should have the certificate as prescribed by the Constitution to be able to contest. Once you have that, it doesn't matter. All that is needed is the good will, is the heart, the strong will to see that your people are liberated from this present trouble that we are in, where men will soon be eating men if God does not help us.
Now, the case of Edo State is perhaps, somehow difficult to understand because we are in a country whereby the national economy, whether we like it or not, has a direct impact on the state's economy. And perhaps that's the reason why that's for most people, they cannot really appreciate what the state governor is doing. So is it at times that some of these interfaith-based organizations try to capitalize on that and also use it as a campaign tool?
You see, as we speak now, individually, our income is not the same, our welfare is not the same. If we look at the nation economy, and that's where we hand you to, what is the responsibility of the governor, of this local government, of the state and local government? This security in the state can culminate into the general insecurity of a country. Everyone must do his bit that in my village now that nobody can go to farm, you don't just wait for the federal government to do that. What is the local government doing? What is the state government doing? There is fund available for all of these. It has to do with concern. One who has empathy, ready to live for the people, a sacrificial person. So therefore, we can't leave all of this on the federal government. What we're suffering in the country is encompassing. So therefore, the insecurity in our communities brings about this hunger. People no longer go to farm. But yet, we have money to buy SUVs and do all manner of things that, that are called for. We can even engage our local vigilantes, empower them a little bit, and I tell you, we can return back to the farm. First, the problem we have is hunger right now, hunger. And what brings about this hunger in this country is insecurity. People no longer go to farm. I can tell you that. I'm in touch with my base. You can't go to the bush to farm. Therefore, where will you have the food from? So a tuber of yam have gone to 5,000, 3,500, that one person will sit down and eat. And there's no flow of income coming in that way. And we know that in Nigeria, the majority of the people are peasant farmers. What is the state doing about this? All these security votes, what are they doing with it? What is really happening? That we have now been captured like grass cutters, even in our backyard. So these are the issues.
Okay, so as we wrap up now, we understand that your Christian volunteer for Better Nigeria, supports one of the candidates in this forthcoming election. And indications shows that one of the candidates now, you hear people say that he has been a senator, he has done XYZ projects in his senatorial district. But we are looking at a whole state. I mean, a Senate, district cannot have any way, to comply with the whole state now. So is that enough?
Something. Even in the village community, when they want to have a president of a community, just to get a president of a community, maybe community development association, what do they look at? They look at a man, even in his own house, who have been able to touch the life of the people, who have interest of the community at heart, doing his little bit. And they say, okay, let us bring him up. He'll be able to develop the community, if he can touch his family like this. Even you talk about the senatorial district, the government and the constitution have crafted it this way, that in Edo we have 3 senatorial districts. If a man is empowered as a senator, even before he became a senator, and is able to touch a senatorial district in this manner, not just his local government, with a personal income, personal earnings, not just, I can tell you that, my brother, these are things I'm privy to that I see, I can touch. I am from this land.
Yeah, but can you compare that with perhaps a government that has spread its tentacles around the 3 senatorial districts in Edo State now, and this same government is supporting a candidate that is probably also willing to take over from him?
Let me tell you something. We should be asking us, what have they spread? What have they done? When you cannot access anywhere, I'm just talking to you about the security now. Uromi is a den of kidnappers. The roads are dead trapped. All that the government can do is to put somebody that these roads are federal government roads.
Yeah,
even
the insecurity in the state is a national issue. I mean, it's not only in Edo State.
Whether it's not only in Edo State, what is Edo doing? What you hear in Edo, you don't hear in so many of the states. What are they doing about it? What can they show? This is exactly what we have done. And I tell you, that is security matter. An individual like the candidate we are supporting, we can show to you, this is what an individual have done before even becoming a senator. Do you understand what I'm saying? If a man can do that in his local government, he can do that in his senatorial district, I tell you, if he's given a bigger platform, he would do exceedingly abundantly well.
Yeah, but don't you think the state government? Yeah, don't you think the state government gave him the platform for him to achieve that kind of success, if there are any anyway?
I didn't get you right.
Yeah, don't you think the state government gave the candidates you are supporting that that leverage to achieve the kind of success that you are talking about now? If there are successes anyway, in that senatorial
there are so much successes. It has nothing to do with the state government. All that he has achieved over the time has nothing to do with the state government. These are from private business. that he did this. Now he's just a year plus in the Senate. So it has nothing to do with the state at all. It is just his passion, his love for his people. You know, being a grassroots person, somebody who grew from the scratch. He has sympathy, he has empathy, you know. He wants to touch the life of the people. He feels them, he's with them. He understands what they're passing through. And whatever he has, the little he has been pushing into the life of the people, knowing that one day we will live here. It is not about what you gain from the life, it's about what you give back to it. This is exactly why we love him. This is why the people love him. This is why the people want him. And they can tell you he doesn't talk, he doesn't talk. He talks so much by what he do. Governance is not about oratory. It's not about having thousands of certificates that really amount to nothing. We want to see delivery, dividends of democracy. And this man has shown capacity in this regard. And I tell you something, we are good. It's a God-given candidate to us. God has given it to us.
But you must express knowledge and understanding. That's what, I mean, that's the only way people can assess you. Knowledge is not kept, it's not bottled up.
What is the knowledge that you want him to express that you have not heard him talked about? What is it? Is it statistics that are not measurable? Is it the lies of the MOUs? No. That's what we're talking to you about, delivery. And he's talking to us that he will do and how he will get that done. That's all that we need to hear from him.
Okay. All right, so because of time, Mr. Edward Asoleme, we want to say thank you so much for joining on the program today, and we hope that you come to Edo State to get your voters card ready so that all of us can review, so that we can view Edo State. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Edward. All right, so the program is still here.